Hello and welcome to Channel Sports this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I am Taya Salam. This is what the show looks like. Starting off with basketball, great news are coming from Kigali, Rwanda, where the Tigers have made a winning start to the competition, and coach Mike Brown is already targeting another win in their next game against Kenya. Also on the show, Arsenal get their season up and running with a 6-0 thrashing of West Brom in the EFL Cup. Last but not the least, new world records are set in swimming and track cycling at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. We have all of the highlights and Team Nigeria updates for you on the show, so stick with us. Onome Appeal. You're officially welcome to our coverage of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. I'm not on this ride alone. Onome Appeal joins me after a long time on the sidelines, and I'm going to call this a comeback. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, it's been a while. Long time coming anyway, the comeback, but it's great to be back here as usual. Yeah. Always happy to be back here.
Always great to have you on the show, Onome. And let's just dive straight into the Olympics and give you updates concerning Team Nigeria and the powerlifting events. This particular event is one where Nigerians expect to get medals from, but unfortunately for Yakubu Adeshokan in the 49 kg powerlifting final, he managed to place fourth, and that's just one spot off the podium. Not great news we're expecting this morning, Onome.
Yeah, not great news we're expecting this morning. I think for the first day in the Olympics yesterday, also not so good in table tennis, and we felt, you know what, maybe in powerlifting, when we had the first bite at the cherry, we'll get this one. But Adeshokon, we thought he was going to go out there to maybe go for the medal place, gold medal. Couldn't get that one. Tried his hand at bronze medal, also not working also, but it's the first time. I think these are still early days. We still have so many days at the Paralympics. Yeah. Maybe we can do so well going forward.
You're spot on there, like I said. Just the first, try. Many more tries are to count for our Team Nigeria, especially with the powerlifters. So we wish all of them the best of the competition. Let's move on now to other events that went down yesterday. That was on day 2 of the Paralympics. I said at the start of the show, world records in swimming and track cycling. Valeria Shebelina of the Russian Olympic Committee set a new world record in the women's 100 meters fly S14, while track cyclist Sarah Dame Story of the Great Britain and Tristan Bagma of the Netherlands also set best ever times. Let's enjoy the rest of the highlights coming from those events. Touch. Welcome back and away from the Paralympics. Let's go to Kigali, Rwanda, and give you updates coming from the FIBA Afrobasket team Nigeria. Nigeria, of course, started the competition on the winning notes against Mali, 83-71. That's 81-73. That's how it ended in favor of Nigeria. In other games, Cameroon forfeited against South Sudan, and Senegal, one of the favorites for the competition, defeated Uganda 93-55. Kenya against Cote d'Ivoire ended 88-70 in favor of the Ivorians. Those two teams are in Nigeria's group. So Kenya will take on Nigeria in the next game there. But before then, we have a guest that's going to help us analyze Nigeria's opening game at the FIBA Afrobasket. But before he joins us, I'm going to get your thoughts as well. Onome, we came into this competition, a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Players, a lot of new faces, and they've managed to get a win. I mean, which is all that really matters, even though they didn't play well all through the quarters.
I think it was a good one. We have just one player who was there at the qualifiers right there for us at the Afrobasket, and all the guys who went to the Olympics couldn't come for this one. But like you said, it's a good win for us at the start. What I liked with the guys point taking, I liked how they shared the ball well. You could tell that they were patient with the offensive play. They were doing the right things to give themselves open shots. Fine, we played against a side, the Malians, who weren't very astute defensively, give us lots of open looks, which is why the guys were able to take so many shots from the three-point range. We took more shots from three-point range and two-point range.
Incredible.
It's quite funny. 45 shots attempted for the range beyond the arc, scoring 18, by the way, and only 26 attempted from the two-point range. But we took advantage of that one. But what we need to work on going forward is defensively. We gave up a lot of balls. I can remember then in the second quarter where the Malians had a resurgence and closed the game. We were giving up, free throws and fouls beyond the free-throw line. We saw the Malians going ahead to the charity stripe to make 3 successful free throws, and that wasn't so good for us. And I think we need to share the ball some more inside, attack the paint. I remember at some point when we were leading 33-18, the coach told the guys, you need to go into the paint. You need to start going in. The guys are leaving your open spaces, go to the rim and walk on inside the paint. But they kept on shooting from beyond the range. And we also need to be consistent and stay with those long advantage we have. We're leading at 22 points at some point, and then we were down to like 10 points.
Incredible.
I saw Mark Brown telling the guys during the timeout, you need to embrace success when you have it and know what got you to that point. Because when you keep on doing those things, which is how you can actually increase your lead, the guys who learned from this experience, it was a win, slim one, 8 points. A lot of good things to take from this one ahead of the second game against Kenya. But we should only get better from this point going forward.
One game at a time. That's been the message coming from the coach and the players and all of them. I mean, decent win. There's no two ways about it. First quarter was very good, but at the end of the second quarter, it was just a 1-point leader for Nigeria, and we started to get worried a bit. But the guys showed up in the third and eventually managed to see out the game to get a victory for the country. Olumide Oyedeji, former D Tigers captain, has been there, done it, won this competition before, joins us now to review that particular game. Olumide, good morning. Always great to have you on the show.
Hi, good morning. How's everybody doing at home?
We're doing great. Of course, we're all delighted with D Tigers' opening game victory against Mali. Your thoughts on that game overall?
Oh, well, first of all, let me congratulate the whole team for a win. A win is a win. no matter what it is, win is a win. So I congratulated the team. I was happy, excited seeing them won the game. So I was a little bit kind of nervous when there was a game when they closed the gap in the first half. So I mean, it was kind of a little scary, but they can pull surprises. I mean, basketball is a game of momentum, but I mean, overall performance, let me say the average, but the win is a win, no matter what happened.
Spot on, a win is a win, and we're just gonna let you hold on for a second. We're gonna listen to the post-game thoughts of the coach as well as Stephen Domingo. Talking about that particular game against the Mali and what happened. And afterwards, we'll get your reaction.
This is the first time our guys have had contact because when we started training camp, we only had 8 guys. And so we couldn't play 5-on-5. And then when we got here, the new guys were so far behind, we couldn't play 5-on-5. So this is the first time that our team has seen somebody else in front of them. And so there were times when they got tired. And when they got tired, they got really, really sloppy offensively and had a lot of turnovers. And they got really, really tired defensively.
22 turnover.
Yep, for a lot of points. And we gave a lot of, and then they also got sloppy defensively, allowing Mali to run to the rim and get layups on us. But the bottom line is we have to do 2 things a lot better going forward. First one, we got to take care of the ball, like we just said, and then the second one, we can't foul as much. We made 3 free throws to their 17, but they had 27 attempts to our 4, and it's not all officiating. I mean, I thought there were a couple of times where we got hit and we didn't get the whistle, but we have to do a better job of not fouling like we did, especially versus 3-point shooters. So, you give credit to Mali for continuing to play hard no matter how many points they were up or down. But at the end of the day, we got the win, and hopefully we can build on it.
It's the highest honor for me to be able to play for Nigeria. I can't really put it into words per se. Being able to wear those letters across your shirt, being able to wear the flag on my chest is the highest honor for me. And for Coach to name me captain is an honor on top of that. There are a lot of great Nigerian basketball players that came before me and that are still involved in the program. And to be one of those people to help represent the country now and hopefully in the future is a high honor for me. Mali was a team that they had a lot of length. They disrupted some of the things that we wanted to do. I think that's going to be the case with a lot of the teams on the continent. There's a lot of tall and long teams throughout the tournament, and so we're going to have to do that, and we're going to have to cut down on our turnovers and make good passes because they can cut down passing lanes. But that's the case in a lot of places. But with that being said, we're going to go watch the film. I'm going to talk with my teammates, and we're going to make the necessary adjustments to be better going forward. Obviously, listening to the coaches and taking everything they have to say into account as well.
Stephen Domingo, that's the captain for the Tigers for this particular competition, finished the game with 16 points. Olumide, quickly, let's touch up on some of the individual performances. Stephen Domingo was very good on the day. There was also Benjamin Melogo as well, who scored a team high 18 points, while Uzodinma Utomi finished with 15. Overall, how do you assess the performance for a lot of these guys who are playing for the country for the very first time?
Oh, well, I mean, that was a good performance for the young lads. I mean, I was happy, excited seeing them playing out there. It shows that Nigeria we have a lot of talent everywhere, anywhere. I mean, Nigeria, we can bring out about 12, 14, 15 teams, even up to 20 teams competitively. So that shows everybody want to play for Nigeria now. I'm happy to see what we built. That is kind of just keep growing. So I was so happy, excited to see all those young men just playing out there.
Indeed, massive opportunity for them. Olumide will come back to you shortly. Back to you. Olumide said it all. There's talent everywhere.
Yeah, lots of them.
In Europe, in the NBA, in the Americas, they're there. And that's exactly what we've had to depend on because of the unavailability of some of our top stars. And It's good to see them taking full advantage of this opportunity.
Amazing. It's not easy. You find 12 set of players, 10, 12 set of players who you can bring up and say you go to tournaments back to back. We went with a different set to the Olympics, and now we're coming out to another set. And these guys have started quite well. You could see that there are talents in there. You just need consistency going forward and also fixing some of those issues that Mike Brown talked about, turnovers and foul less. But the talent is there. And then, like Domingo said, we need to be careful of the length. There are very oversized players we have at the Afrobasket. Talk about the Senegalese, the Tunisians, and whatnot. Even the Malians have some of those. But consistency and staying true to what gets you those results will get us there. I like the fact that, like Olumide said, they've been the forefront of basketball in Nigeria for a while. And like I say, success have many friends. Because of what they've set initially as pioneers, you see many guys coming through. We won the Afrobasket in 2015. Who says we can't do it this year or at the next one?
Interesting. We'll see about winning a second Afrobasket title. That's going to be after this break. Before you can think of doing that, they've got to beat Kenya in their next game. We're talking about that game with Olumide Odeji when we come back from this break. Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We're still talking about Nigeria's D Tigers campaign at the FIBA Afrobasket in Kigali, Rwanda. They'll take on Kenya in their next game. Coach Mike Brown has been speaking ahead of that particular encounter.
We just got to go play. I mean, there's no secret magic to it. Obviously, we got to, like I said, we got to take care of the ball better. We can't foul. Yes, Cape Verde beat Angola last night, but that's the game of basketball. We beat the USA, and I know it was a friendly game, but the USA has lost games in the Olympics before, and so teams are going to get beat, teams are going to get upset. And what you do is you just hopefully learn from it and grow from it. And we know both these teams are really good. We know both these teams want to win, just like Mali wanted to win today. But we take one game at a time. And while we go into the game, we try to do what we can to try to win. But I believe if we can take care of the ball, if we don't put them to the free throw line, and we take care of the transition game, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win because we have some talented players that know how to play the right way.
The Tigers coach Mike Brown speaking ahead of the next game against Kenya. Olumide is still with us on the show. Olumide, where do you think the team needs to improve more in that game against Kenya? We've talked about the turnovers in the last game against Mali. Gave up 24 points on turnovers. The bench as well too didn't really contribute much to the particular victory for Nigeria. Just 18 points off the bench. But it's Kenya the next game. I'm not trying to sound condescending, but the Kenyans should be a good win for Nigeria.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, I'm just going to go back to what I said during the U.S. game when we were all excited. To say something that said, you live by threes, you die by threes. Sometimes because, especially, which was part of our problem at the Olympics, I mean, we shooting too many threes, we're becoming a jump shot team, jump shooting teams. And when our shot is not falling, that's when we struggle. So just like look at all the games we lost at the Olympics. So look at the time that we had a straight shooting threes, everything walking in. I mean, we look so good. But when the shot is not dropping, no, it doesn't. So I think we're having the same issue right now with what I saw yesterday. Okay. And we took a 71 shots, and we had a 45 3-point attempt out of 71 shots. I mean, that's a lot of 3-point attempts. And for me, I'm kind of worried about that. By the time we're going to play against a long team, like that very athletic that can match our physicality, we're going to struggle. And also defensively, we have a 0 block shot. So that means they were thin inside. We're not really defensively, we're not really that aggressive. We're becoming an offensive, but defense is going to win. I mean, offense win games and defense win championships. We want to win championships, so we have to work on our defense. We have to reduce the turnover, like what my brand said. And by the time goes on, just see the last 3-point attempt that they left, just like that. You don't leave this kind of point just like that in the group matches because you never know what's going to happen. When the game comes to edge to edge, how many baskets you made, I think we also needed experience in that team.
You're spot on, Olumide, and to be fair to the guys, I'll come back to you now. I mean, it's well documented already. 5 players in training camp. A lot of the guys joined up in Kigali, so they barely had time to train. So there are chemistry issues, obviously, and in the first game they just had to find a way to win, which is why they depended on the 3-point attempts. And but going forward, surely with more time together, you expect them to play better as a team.
Yeah, I expect them to. I think I talked about earlier on how I like how they shot the ball. I think they can only improve on that. You know, shut the ball, collapse into the paint some more. He said something about how we couldn't get any blocks. I think they're quite undersized. Understand that the center who played center for us yesterday, Dogi, was like, the biggest guy, and he's not really a big man per se. But because of that, we can't really defend well around the perimeter. But you have to find ways to restrict teams from getting into you. If you know you're not so good within the perimeter, stop them from getting in and protect your perimeter zone and, restrict them to shooting from outside. We have to improve so much well defensively, but the chemistry would improve. These guys only came together just before the tournament. They're not like some other national sides who have guys playing together for a while. Angola have the likes of Marias and Mingos who have been right there for like over 10 years. So we don't have the luxury of that with our national team side, but want to see that chemistry go on, improve forward, and they have to be smarter, have smarter plays going forward. That's the only way we can actually go the furthest and have a deep run at the Afrobasket.
Olumide, before we let you go, it's all about having a deep run in the competition. The group stage should be no problem, no disrespect to those teams, Kenya, Mali, and Cote d'Ivoire. But it's when you get into the medal round, when you get to start playing the likes of Tunisia, Egypt, Senegal, Angola, that's where the real test is. Am I correct?
Definitely, that's going to be tough. I mean, like you say we get a talent. But talent can take you to one level, and it's just going to leave it there. The team cohesion together and the understanding of the game, maturity, the experience, that's what's going to take you to the next level. And I know how to play, what shots to take. We cannot keep taking every shot when we get into the group stages. That you have to make every possession count. So by the time right now, there's no doubt we're going to get out of this zone, out of this group, no matter what. Worst case scenario, we're going to be number 2. So, but I don't want to be. I believe we're not going to be number 2 in this one. We're going to be number 1, I believe so. But Cote d'Ivoire is going to be a tough match because the Cote d'Ivoire, they match our physicality, they match our style. They might have a couple of experience. They have a couple of experienced players in their group. But talent is not enough. And for us playing with the 5 players and we saying, I mean, for me personally, that doesn't go by me because we know what we need to do, what we're supposed to do. We just have to find a way to win. We have to find a way to get a win. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult, but never underrate anybody. I've not seen anybody mentioning Cape Verde. Cape Verde is a team to beat. So because, I mean, they have the length, they have the physicality and ability. So we have about 5-6 teams that are there that's not going to be a pushover. But as long as we can cut down our turnover, know how to play, and know the shot, have a good shot selection, very good shot selection, that's going to be great. We're going to be good.
All right, Olumide, thank you for your time on Sport this morning. Hopefully some of these things you've talked about, the Tigers improve on going on for the rest of the competition. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, as former Tigers captain, Olumide Oyedeji was part of Nigeria's first squad to win the Afrobasket title about 6 years ago in Tunisia. Served the country very well and still very passionate about the sport despite being a few years into retirement right now. Before we leave the Afrobasket, let's give you the fixtures for today. And it's going to be Guinea taking on the Central African Republic. Cape Verde, after that shocking win over Angola in their first game, they'll be looking to build on it against Congo DR. There's also Angola would look to rebound from their loss against Cape Verde, against Rwanda. And what a game in the group stage. Egypt versus Tunisia. What's going on? What were they thinking with this kind of draw? Come on.
Massive game.
Wow.
For today, and I think that will be a very, very good one. But also good to see how Cape Verde continue from their win against Angola.
Yeah.
They have a star man back in their fold, Walter Tavares, who had not played for them since Afrobasket 2013. And he came back, announced his return with 20 points and 18 rebounds, 6 blocks.
Awesome.
That was monstrous numbers right there from that man. And I pity the Rwandans today against Angola, because it's more about the wrath of the Angolans and see if they can tell us, you know what, we are still the Angolans, we know we are still the 11-time champions.
Of course, can't take that away from them. So we'll be seeing how they respond to their loss against the Cape Verde. Let's leave basketball now. Let's go to the full volleyball courts and give you updates coming from the World Championships, where Team Nigeria have lost their second game. This time around it was against Poland. They lost by 3 sets in the second pool game at the FIBA Under-19 Volleyball World Championships in Tehran, Iran. The Polish dominated Nigeria in the entire game to win 25-10, 25-14, and 25-18. Peter Matthias emerged as the top performer for Nigeria with 9 points, while Titus Nwoke earned 19 points for Poland. Nigeria will play host Iran in the final pool game on Saturday. 2 losses in a row. It's not looking good, but I said it at the start of the competition that the fact that they've made it to this tournament in the first place, I think is something to be proud of.
No, I think, when it comes to age grade competitions, under 17, under 19, under 20, it's not about wins per se. No. It's all about how to see what your progress has been so far with your youth program and ask yourself, testing it against other nations and see the point you are. And then you come back and, strategize someone and improve that, because these are the guys who get on to go to the Olympics in the years to come, a future tournament, World Cup and, African Championships. And let's see what their progress has been. Let's see how well they play. Let's see what things we pick from this and we learn. But when we learn, how do we apply them coming back home and going forward? I think that's the question we ask ourselves.
You're spot on. It's not to be too down on yourself too much for losing this kind of games. A great exposure for all the lads in Iran. Wish them all the best in the final pool game against the host nation. Away from volleyball, let's go to the courts now, or still on the courts this time. Talk about squash, where the Abuja National Squash Competition is currently on the way. A total of 75 male and female players from at least 10 states are presently participating in the 2021 IGP National Open Squash Challenge in Abuja, FCT, Plateau, Delta, Niger, Edo, Kaduna, Rivers, Kwara, and Oyo are among the states taking part in the tournament, which started on Wednesday at MKO Abiola National Stadium Squash Courts. The Nigeria Police Squash Association promised to make the tournament an annual event. The association said the competition has been endorsed by the Squash Federation of Nigeria, the World Squash Association, as well as the Professional Squash World Tour events. Let's take reactions coming from that event.
We have over 50 males that registered. The registration was done online, and we have over 25 females that have registered on the net. However, the only challenges we have has to do with the registration aspect, where some players couldn't access or they have to come here.
We have within the force a program to nurture and develop athletes who are already in the force. And like you said, who knows, some of those discovered today, some of these young ones who could be encouraged later to join us in the force. But not every one of them will definitely end up in the police force. But what we do, not only with squash, is that we work with federations across the board to do grassroots search for talents. And then we expect them to come on board after discovering these talents to work with us to nurture this one. So it's a joint, it's a collaborative effort with the federation.
Away from the Abuja National Squash Challenge, let's go on to England and talk about the EFL Cup, where Arsenal, after 2 losses to start the season, there's a bit of a relief, for the team and the fans right now. They were in action against West Brom in the EFL Cup second round, and it was a 6-0 4-0 victory for the Gunners. Very comprehensive victory indeed. In other games, Newcastle were edged out by Burnley 4-3 on penalties after a goalless draw in regulation time. Newport County were on the receiving end of an 8-0 bashing at the hands of Southampton. And the Arsenal, like I said, defeated West Brom by 6-0. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with a hat-trick. Lacazette also coming back with a goal. We saw a second debut for Odegaard. What do you make of that performance? I mean, you can't really test or judge Arsenal based on this particular match because West Brom, for whatever reason, decided to make 11 changes, and I thought that was very disrespectful from the manager, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I looked at the bench also. I was surprised. The young lads on the bench for West Brom.
Also thinking about.
You could tell. Maybe not really concerned about the cup competition, focusing on getting a promotion back to the Premier League. They were there last season. Big Sam couldn't save them, and now they are in there in the Championship. And he's looking at, we want every avenue possible from the Championship for us to go back to promotion. So not risk our first team guys a whole lot.
After just a few games in the season?
Yes, let them rest. I don't know. Let them rest. That's what we were thinking about. Arsenal took advantage of that one.
Yeah.
They had a poor start to the season, losing to Brentford, shockingly, side who were just in the Premier League for the first time after 70 years.
Yep.
And then you look at, the second game against Chelsea. They weren't very inspiring with their performance. We thought they were going to be give Chelsea a quite stiff challenge because in the past 4 matches before that one, they've not lost to Chelsea, and we thought maybe this was going to be a very, very stiff affair. But Chelsea kind of rolled over that one, and the game was done in the first half, even before the blast of the whistle to end first half. But a good response from them. They had Aubameyang starting for the first time this season. Bukayo Saka looked in a very good element. A man that from last season, what ending may place at the Euros. We saw him play that yesterday again. Pepe also starting. Looks like Pepe is gradually looking like a 70 million signing, but I think he has to put in more than what he's doing right now. Odegaard, you talked about him having his second debut. I wouldn't say it was an inspiring performance from him because we expected more. He has to be more of the creator, not just be one of the guys on the field of play. I felt like Bukayo Saka was still doing more job as a creator yesterday. So if we're paying that money for you to come be that man behind the striker, you have to create some more and assist. But Aubameyang getting 3 goals yesterday, 2 off the rebound. Lacazette coming off the bench to score. Bukayo Saka also joining the goal scorer chart. It's all about keeping up with this, continuing with this one. Maybe this might be the turning point for Arsenal for the season, but they have tougher fixtures ahead. Man City at the weekend.
Next.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, oh, my God, indeed. But should be a great confidence booster for them.
Sure.
I mean, that's what victory does to any team you ask any sportsman. And perhaps they'll take that into the next game, feeling a bit good about themselves,
but
instead
still,
of feeling down.
The quality of opposition, though.
Of course, that's why I said
not much. Not much quality around West Brom. So keep your heads down. Go ahead into your next game and play your hearts out against Man City. That's all Arsenal have to do.
You're spot on. Yeah, but you can only be what's in front of you, and that's what Arsenal did yesterday against West Brom. Can't judge them based on that performance at all. We'll see a lot more of what they are made of against Man City over the weekend. Arsenal's results, for beating West Brom, is that they're going to take on AFC Wimbledon. That's going to be in the 3rd round. In other 3rd round fixtures, Wolves will take on Tottenham. So another reunion for Nuno Espirito Santo. There's also Watford taking on Stoke, Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Manchester United will take on West Ham in an all-Premier League affair. The holders City versus Wycombe, Millwall, Leicester, QPR versus Everton, Fulham versus Leeds. You can go on and on and on. So those are our fixtures for the 3rd round of the EFL Cup. Moving away from the EFL Cup now, let's talk about the transfer saga that has ended, thankfully. I don't know whether it's not thankfully, however you want to put it. The Harry Kane coming out yesterday to confirm he's going to be staying on Spurs this summer. Very instructive that he left those 2 words in there. This summer. What's going on there?
Well, I was surprised by this one. I thought, for a man who is 28, was giving a whole lot to Spurs. I don't think there's any more he can do than he has been doing. And he finished as the top goal scorer in the league this past season in the Premier League.
Top
assist. Still, the team finished 7th. And you wonder, what else do you want him to bring to the table for his side? But with the way it is right now, I think he looks like he doesn't want to fight some more. Even I feel that he hasn't explored all the avenues available maybe possibly putting a transfer request officially to tell the team that I want to leave. Because when he signed the contract, a 6-year deal in 2018, Spurs were on a very upward trajectory. They were moving up, they were getting better. They finished second in the previous season. They're finishing in top 4. They were in the Champions League, lost in the second round of 16. Then in 2019, 1 year into the new contract, they got to the final, beating Man City and Ajax in that run. And you could tell that there's progress right there. But since then, they've come down. Fine, many would say they got to the EFL Cup final last season where Man City beat them well. But I don't think I'll see that as progress for them. So if the club is not progressing at the level Harry Kane is progressing at, maybe it's time to leave and move elsewhere to a bigger side that will give him the chance of winning trophies. But he seems to like the love he has gotten from the fans, like he said in his statement, how well he was welcomed when he came off the bench to play that game against Wolves. But hopefully he doesn't regret this one, because at 29, not many will be willing to pay the kind of money that Spurs will want for him at the end of this season, even though, except he has some sort of agreement with Danny Levy, I'm not sure that Spurs will progress at the level he wants in just 1 year. Well, let's see what happens by the end of the season.
We'll see if Spurs can get to win that elusive trophy. That's what Harry Kane is all about. Wants to start winning titles with his club, and that's why he told the hierarchy at Spurs he wanted to leave in the summer. But Daniel Levy obviously very reluctant to sell, and there talks about a gentleman agreement as well, to which it looks like
that never works.
Which looks like Daniel Levy has reneged on. But Harry Kane staying at Spurs for the summer. When we come back from the break, we'll be getting the thoughts of Nuno Espirito Santo, the coach, as well as one of the Spurs players. Join us again.
We are all very happy. One of the best players in the world. So we are all very happy, delighted to have one more option to the season ahead of us. Since Harry joined us, he's been working, so this is what we value. His attitude and training sessions have been great. So it's finished. Harry's going to be with us. He worked today. He's an option for tomorrow. Like I said, fantastic news for everybody.
You know how good is Harry as a player, and how important he is for this club, for this team. For me, he's definitely one of the best strikers in the world. So I think it's a very, very big and important news for us and for all the Tottenham fans, and we're just very happy.
The whole Spurs family, from the players to the fans, all very delighted to have Harry Kane for one more season. If that's the case, at the end of the day, we'll see how it pans out. Tottenham, of course, have got a match later today against some club from Portugal. Marcus Pereira, that's in the Europa Conference League. That takes some getting used to.
Exactly, we're still getting used to that one.
Yet another competition in Europe. So that's it for the Harry Kane saga. It's over. There's still one more saga, though. That's the Mbappe and Real Madrid and PSG situation. But like an offshoot of that is the fact, or the stories emanating from Italy, that Cristiano Ronaldo is being offered to Manchester City.
Yeah, that's what we hear. You know, when he decided, from the story we heard at the weekend, ahead of the match against Udinese, at the weekend, he said he didn't want to start. There were rumors and saying that, you know what, we think he really wants to leave, even though Juventus came out and, and just, watered down those rumors. But right now, apparently, Juventus have resigned to their fate, and they say, you know what, we agreed to allowing him leave, but they want about £25 million or thereabouts.
Yes, they do.
And Man City are playing hardball. They feel they can get him for less. For a man who really wants to leave and who you are tired of, even Man City are looking to say, you know what, maybe we can get him for free, not this year, maybe next year.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo really wants to leave. Surprisingly, I'm surprised he's actually looking at Manchester City. I'm surprised that Pep wants Ronaldo.
Very, very interesting, because we know about City's pursuit of Harry Kane, which has failed to materialize now. So it's a bit surprising that this is what they're going for next. They want that striker. Ronaldo is not a striker, even though he's played the last stages of his career.
He's grown to become that central
Exactly.
man.
But I agree with you. It's a bit strange that Pep is going for Cristiano Ronaldo in this particular situation when they couldn't get Harry Kane. But fingers crossed, there's about 5-6 days to the end of the transfer window. So we'll see if City can get their man before it all shuts down at the end of the month. Quickly, before we look at the papers, the Champions League draw will go down today, and all of the teams will know their opponents in the group stage. Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, as well as Liverpool will be in a different ports. In port 1, there's Chelsea, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Lille, and Sporting. While in port 2 is Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Manchester United, PSG, Liverpool, Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund. Port 3 has Porto, Ajax, RB Leipzig, Benfica, Atlanta, Zenit, Shakhtar. Incredible comeback against Monaco yesterday.
Yeah.
They were down on now, but somehow they found 2 goals in the second half.
By own goal anyway.
Yeah, well, a goal is a goal. Port 4's got Besiktas, Dynamo Kiev, Club Brugge, Young Boys, AC Milan, Malmo, Wolfsburg, and Sheriff Tiraspol. So
history makers, Sheriff, the first Moldovan side to get to the group stage of Champions League.
Wow, take a bow, guys, wherever you are. I bet they'll be looking forward to playing the best teams in the group stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine Real Madrid and the likes coming to Moldova.
That would be great, especially if fans are not
allowed,
the stadium. The fans will be happy to have that kind of team come play in our stadium.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll see how it pans out. The draw is going to take place later today. Let's take a look at the papers now. Kindly help me with those right there. All right, so let's start with the very first one is Complete Sport. Osimhen, Sadiq, and Wakali ruled out of Eagles World Cup qualifiers. Assyria joins La Liga and the EPL in stopping players. Okay, let's quickly focus on this one, the red zone issues and all of that. But we're playing Liberia next, right? Right here in Lagos.
Yes, and
Nigeria is not on the red zone list for the UK. Yeah, so why can't they just play the Liberia game and go back to the clubs afterwards?
So I think for the UK, I'm very sure Nigeria are not on the red list.
They're not.
We're on the amber list
100%.
For the UK. But then Cape Verde is on that thing entirely. Do you want to have some set of players come play only one match and then maybe a whole lot of them, 11 or 15, cannot play the second leg in that same window? I think that's very, very tricky. I think that's part of why we've not even seen the Super Eagles list ahead of the World Cup qualifiers. There are still deliberations and discussions on this one. And I understand the position of the club sides. They pay these guys. This is a new season. Everybody wants to hit the ground running quickly. So I don't want to get my key players leave and then they return and they can't play for us for the next 10, 14 days because they are quarantined.
How many games in between those for quarantine period?
They could miss 2 games. Or 3.
See, is that too many, really?
It's still, they are the ones paying the players.
Yeah, I agree.
They bear the brunt of everything.
I agree.
You know, Infantino came out yesterday to say, allow these guys to go. But I understand the position of the club side. It's no one's fault at this point in time. I think the clubs have suffered a lot in the past year because of the pandemic. But I understand the position, but it's more about let's find a middle ground. Is it possible for the players to be allowed back? The Premier League sides and European community clubs are discussing with the home countries to have that leeway for those players, but the governments are saying no, it's not happening.
No to that.
Whatever happens, if you go to a red zone, you come back, you have to self-isolate. Harry Kane did that when he went to holiday, and he came back, he was isolating, which was why he wasn't in training initially, and many thought it was a transfer issue. So it's a due process has to be followed.
I agree, it's a very, very sticky situation, but I just feel that there's ways around this. Like I said, they can play the game against Liberia.
Salah, Mane, Keita.
Yeah, for 2 games.
Salah, Mane, you know
what? For 2 games. So now imagine, it's both sides. Imagine Brazil taking on Argentina in the World Cup qualifier, missing 8 players. Alisson, Firmino, all of those guys go on. So it's both ways. Unfortunately, that's what the pandemic has caused for the football world. Let's go to Sporting Life now. Battle against Cape Verde. FIBA vows to ban EPL clubs. There you go.
It's not happening.
We'll see. It's
not happening.
I mean, Infantino came out yesterday too. That was more of a plea. Yeah, let them go, guys.
That's all they can do.
I don't know about this ban threats, but we'll see later on, subsequently. Still on Sporting Life, PSG to consider selling Mbappe for Real Madrid. To Real Madrid for £171 million. This is the other transfer saga that is yet to reach a resolution.
we're still going to have that. I think 5 days left in the window.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
And I remember I seen a post by the member of the Qatari family that owns PSG.
Yeah.
It says, pay the money you want for if you want him, but if you can't pay, stick with your golfer for the end of the season.
why he had to do that? I mean, Gareth Bale is just minding his business, playing golf. But yeah, it's all good. We'll see. We'll see how they resolve the situation at the end of the day as well. So I'm going to put you on the spot like I did Damilo Ju the other time about Harry Kane, and it was sports on the Harry Kane was going to remain a sports player this summer. Mbappe for you, PSG or Real Madrid? Considering all of the situation on ground, 1 year left, he wants to go. He's told them multiple times.
I think he'll stay for 1 more year, run down his contract.
Wow.
That's what I think
that'd be a massive loss for PSG. You think they'll let that happen?
That's what I think will happen. Because
right.
I think he might see reason to the chance of winning the Champions League. Messi's there. Neymar looks like he's improving. And then there's Sergio Ramos. Donnarumma is also there. So I think he might run down that contract.
I think it's staying. So according to Onome Appeal, Kylian Mbappe is staying PSG for 1 more season. We'll see at the end of the transfer window. Thank you for your time. Always great having you on the show.
Here.
Thank you. Don't be a stranger again. Thank you guys for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam. Bye for now.